We all have those colors that we know we look good and we feel good in. It's usually a color that takes up a lot of space in our closet because we love it. So how do you determine what is flattering and what isn't? It's all about finding what stylists call your personal rainbow, or in other words, your color season. It's a theory developed decades ago, but currently gaining steam again in the fashion and beauty world. Stylist Reachel Bagley with Cardigan Empire is joining me to explain and school us in color theory. You call it color draping as well, a lot of different names, but you say this is one of your favorite parts of your job.
I love it because one, it just brings out everybody's natural beauty, right? And it's not expensive, it's not hard, it's just a quick, easy way to really add a lot of power to your wardrobe.
So if a client says, all right, Rach, I want a color season analysis, what does that look like? What does that entail?
So basically what we're doing is we're looking at what kind of qualities their complexion has. So are they warm or are they cool? Are they highly contrasted or are they a little bit more soft and muted? Do they have a lot of purity in their undertones? So are they like super, like all one tone, or do they have a lot of neutrality to them? So we're just gonna look at all those things, and then we're gonna find the colors that best match up with their face, right? Like I call it rhyming, just like cat and rat rhyme, but they have a different beginning, right? So even though you're looking in a different color family, they still have those same qualities, that same ending, and everything feels really cohesive. Plus, it's just awesome. You can see as soon as you put the right color on somebody, instead of having like kind of muted gray eyes, like their eyes, like all the individual colors will pop. All the highlights and lowlights in your hair. You just look more dimensional and more alive, and it's easy.
We're going to get into some examples, but I was going to say just that. I don't consider myself a super creatively visual person, but even you see it like instantly when the right colors are by the specific face. We know 4 seasons. We know spring, summer, fall, winter. How many color seasons are there?
So those are the 4 original seasons, and then most of the analysis goes along with creating them into 12. So each of the original 4 was broken into 3. Because as you've probably noticed, there aren't 4 types of people walking around. It's not you're like, oh, there's a spring, and that's just a summer. And the color palettes in those are so wide, and there may be a good portion of them that don't really suit you. So by narrowing it in just a little bit, it becomes more personalized. And I still say that that's just a starting point, because you may want to like steal a color from this or steal a color from that, or maybe I just don't love that one. But at least you've got your starting point where you're like, I know what kind of color qualities work on me. So you're not sitting there, when you go to H&M and there's a rack, like that t-shirt comes in 20 different colors and you're like, this one or that one or that one or that one.
You can go right for
You
the
can
color.
Just go right for the colors that you know work for you, and it makes it a lot easier.
All right, we've got Micaiah, we've got Nalini, and they're going to show us, we get to see a live color analysis in action. So show us how you do it.
All right. So we're looking at cute Micaiah, and I am going to show you first oranges, which is the most feared color in our whole color palette for Caucasians. So when we look at this one, we can automatically see the color comes way before Micaiah does. Like, I don't even notice her. It's just this traffic cone orange, which looks amazing on some people, but it's definitely not for Micaiah. So then if we switch it over to this softer, paler kind of version of orange, where we just have a little bit more peachiness, it feels way more cohesive. You're seeing like, okay, like I can see the individual skin tones. I can see a lot more of her. If we go into our pinks, similar situation here. We're gonna try first her true, like, beautiful soft pink, which a lot of people can't wear pastels either, right? But when we switch over to this one, we still have, like, she could definitely wear this color, and she would probably pull this one off when she's tan and stuff, but it's still just a little more powerful. We see the color again way before we see her
pretty face.
And finally, just looking at the blues.
This is so fun to
watch. With
the
blue eye, right? Like, you gotta do it. So the hardest color for Micaiah to wear, since she is a light spring, are gonna be really dark shaded colors, things with a lot of black in them. It just drags her whole face down. So this, it's like, honestly, you might think, oh, she has blue eyes, so let's put a blue on her. And this I wouldn't say is bad, because she's gorgeous, you know? Like, how can we do this
wrong? Can't go wrong, come on.
But when we switch over to this like softer, lighter, it feels very angelic. You can almost like hear like a little clouds like floating by your head and birds singing.
Can you hear that,
like,
Micaiah?
I could hear it too. So this is the kind of thing that we want to be looking for, is it just cohesive with her whole face. It's rhyming, and you're feeling like we're pulling from the individual features that she has.
Right. Can I see her original rainbow drape again?
Oh, absolutely. Because let's go back to her original.
That's what I was saying. When you see it, you kind of know. Are these colors you like?
Yes.
Do you feel that too?
I love this one. Yeah, I love this one and like the blues.
Yes. So you feel it too. Like, these are colors that are within my comfort zone, and they look so pretty.
And I was telling these girls, if you ever have a color analysis where they say, oh, all the colors that you loved on yourself are wrong, and all the colors that You know, like if they're contradicting your actual experience, it's probably not accurate.
Okay.
What a color analysis should do is expand your knowledge. So you're like, I already knew I liked that, and I already knew I liked that, and I knew I didn't like that one, but I hadn't even really considered that I could pull that one in, and that really does work well on me. And now I'm gonna avoid, even though I like the idea of that one and I keep buying it because I think it's a fun color, it really isn't for me.
It's not gonna work for me. Okay, so let's go over to Nalini. What do we got?
So Nalini, she is a soft summer. So let's go ahead and look at some of her
Did you know you were a soft summer?
I thought I was a deep winter originally, but I only did something free
And we already talked.
Yeah.
We already talked. She can steal some from the deep winter because she has this beautiful pigmentation in her skin.
Yes.
But she's actually lower contrast than most deep winters.
And define contrast. What do you mean by contrast?
So contrast is like Snow White. So she has super fair skin and super dark hair. That would be really high contrast.
Got it.
And the higher contrast you have, the brighter the color you can wear. Because you have like these gorgeous bright blue eyes, like they're bright blue aqua eyes, you can hold a lot more color than say somebody who has really soft, great hazel eyes. Yeah.
Don't you love when Rachel talks about your features? Like all of a sudden I'm like, oh, I have beautiful blue eyes.
I do have beautiful aqua eyes.
Rachel's the
Thank
best.
You for noticing.
Okay, what are we looking at?
So this one is a really bright neon color. Bright neon colors are some of the, like, they're kryptonite for poor Nalini, right? Like the color is just like way too overwhelming. It just feels harsh. Whereas when we put her in something a little bit more neutral and muted, because she's got this gorgeous ash brown, like really cool colored hair, and then she has all these warm undertones in her skin. And we want colors that have both of that too. So warmth and cool. Then we're looking at this one. First, we're gonna show you, it just feels drab. This is not a Nalini color, right? Like,
no.
This just feels like all one thing. Whereas when we put this petty gray on her, the putty gray, like you can automatically see like, oh, what a pretty neutral. Like, and maybe that's not her personality, but this is like a great undertone base.
Yeah.
So if you're more colorful, and it's always easier to wear colors as a print than it is to wear them as a solid.
Yeah.
So if there's like a color that you're like, I'm not sure about that one, but it's part of a print, just go for it.
You're so good at this. Now, what if, loaded question, you kind of touched on this, but what if I love, love, love a color that absolutely is not in my color season?
But you can still totally wear it. You just wear it like away from your face. Whatever is closest to your face is gonna have the biggest impact. So if you're wearing a turtleneck, nail it, okay? You gotta have that color right. If it's gonna be on your lips.
If the fabric is kissing your chin.
Yeah, or if you're like wiping it all over your mouth, right? We gotta get that right.
Yeah.
But if you really love a color, just put it on a purse. Like I have this pale blue purse because I can't wear it in real life, but I think it's such a cute color. You know, you put it on a shoe.
What am I?
You're a clear spring.
A clear spring.
A clear spring. Isn't that pretty?
This is so fun.
It's also bright spring, just depending on how you use it.
I like it.
Google that.
Fun to learn, fun to know. Thanks, ladies, for letting us learn. Learn from you, learn off of you. And Rach, this is what you do, and you're so good at it. If people want a color analysis, kind of a good place to start, because like you said, it doesn't really cost much. Once you know, it helps guide your decisions, your purchasing decisions.
Absolutely. And so I have tons of free resources on my website on cardiganempire.com. And if you need a little help, feel free to reach out. I can take care of you.
All right. Thanks, you guys, so much. You light spring and you
soft summer.
Soft summer. All right. Unite.